All right, guys, this is Mobile Gamer Nerd, and we are here with this special. Yeah, it's a special. It's going to be the first day of the year when you guys see this, and it is a new year, 2025. So, what better way to start the day off than actually start the year off? I mean, we could start the day and the year off, actually, because it is early, um, with a video about my 100th hero. Yeah. Let's take a look at who it is. All right. We're going to basically show you all 100 heroes. Yes. But this is number 100, 6-star, level 60. So we have finally hit that 100 mark. We have 100 heroes that are all built up and ready to rumble. So yeah, this is kind of cool. So we just got her from the, what is that? Is that Doom Tower? Yeah, from Doom Tower. So she is, we just tried her out in one of the videos this week. If you want to see that one, it was out Monday, and it was episode 7 of year 3. So yeah, she's not bad. I don't hate her, but I think we need to do some work on her. So let's take a look at all the 100 heroes. Look at this. We've got a massive amount of heroes. Yes, there's a lot of rare going on here. As you can see, more than 60% of my account is all rares, and it just works for me, I guess. We do have a few uncommons in here as well, but we are going to be working on some new uncommons pretty soon. Hopefully, within the near future, we'll get some more uncommons on this account because I definitely want to use them. It just takes a little bit of time to level them. So, yeah, we have plenty of more rares to build and plenty more things to beat. So, we are going to move forward. So, let's see what we've got here. Let's just look at everybody. We've got Mithrala. Yes, she's awesome. We love her. She's great. And essentially, she's the reason we started getting through a lot of hard content because she can do the shielding and protecting and keeping your team alive and stopping you from getting murderalized. Yes, that's a real word, murderalized from a bunch of different bosses who do a ton of damage. As long as they don't break through shields, you're fine. Then we've got Cleo, awesome hero. She's been getting much, much stronger. We did get, I think, a relic on her, so that gave her a little bit more attack. I think she actually has the highest attack on my account as of right now. Yeah, she's 5,600, so she's almost at that 6,000 mark. Hopefully, we can build her up a little bit more, but she's definitely the most powerful hero on my account as far as raw attack power. Is she the best hero on my account? No, I don't think she is. But she's badass. I love her. Yannicka, another one that's pretty badass. We actually really like her, mainly for the arena, but pretty cool hero. I definitely like her. Cleo is really just for damaging and getting through waves. There's not many specific areas of the game that I'm like, yo, this is definitely a Cleo spot. She's just really good for wiping out waves and doing some raw damage, and that's it. Yakarl, he's the man. He is the man. He's probably going to be my number one hero for the year when we see the new videos, and we just use him all the time. He's great for almost every aspect of this game, except for when freezes go wrong because you're fighting someone who is gonna counterattack your freezes. That's really about it. But otherwise, Yakarl is one of the best, if not the best hero in the game that I currently own as far as just being good at all content. Literally just Fire Knight. He's good for Spider. He's good for literally anything that requires turn meter. Really, the only place that I think he doesn't show up as well is Iron Twins. And it's not even that he's bad at it. It's just that mine doesn't stay alive long enough because I don't have the right support heroes because I obviously can't summon them. This is a free to play account, and it is also a mystery shard only and heroes everyone gets kind of thing. So unfortunately, I will never have a Brogni. I'll never have those heroes. So he does die a little bit easier because we built him for raw damage. And yeah, he's pretty badass though. If you can keep him alive, he'll be great in everything. See 5,100 since he got his new relic. But yeah, awesome hero, great hero for almost all content. Gerda, another great hero for almost all content. She's got poison, she's got removal of debuffs, she's got removal of buffs from enemies. She's got all kinds of really good stuff. She's got a weaken in her account. Yeah, she's definitely doing some good stuff, and she is one of my favorite heroes as of right now. Eric's, funny enough, I don't love Eric's as much as most people do, but Eric's got us through Spider. Yeah, hard mode Spider. That was the key. It was right here. And also amazing campaign farmer. You literally just close off her main skill and that does the counterattacks and she just kills everything in 3 seconds. So it's just amazing hero for that kind of stuff, but also really good for Spider, also really good for a bunch of different stuff. Definitely a wave killer, stuns. got us through faction wars. So yeah, awesome hero, really good for a lot of different stuff. Visix, honestly, I just don't use her right. I feel like I don't utilize her the way that she should be utilized. Really good for Hydra, really good for faction wars, really good for pretty much anything that requires a provoke. The dragon, anything that requires her to do turn meter drop is really good because her A1 hits twice and drops turn meter. So I do have her on a no hit team that works for Fire Knight all the way up to stage 25. If you want to see that, you can look it up the video. But yes, really good hero as far as just that kind of stuff. But I don't utilize her as much as you should for like Hydra and things like that because I just haven't built her correctly at this point yet. We've never rebuilt her. As you can see, she doesn't have any ascensions, nothing. She just, we don't use her. Like that's it. She's good for what we do use her for. And that's it. I don't really mess around with her too much. But yeah, if you guys, I wouldn't say definitely don't build her, but I would say rebuild her better than I did. She is not that great for me. Arbiter, there's not much to say here. Basically, she's good for anything that needs attack up, speed up. Arena is amazing. That's basically where I use her every single day as my main lead. And yeah, that's what she's there for. And she can revive. So good for faction wars, good for a lot of different things. Cool hero. I definitely like her. Thea, the Tomb Angel. She's one of our more recent heroes. She's from hard mode Doom Tower. She was the first one we got, and at this point, the only one that we have because it takes a while for me to get those keys, the shards. Sorry, fragments. And yeah, I like her, and she does some serious wave damage if you can control her. Her AI is a little bit weird, so I don't know how I feel about her on auto. But if for things where you don't need auto, she's actually really good. She can kill waves. We used her in the spider on hard mode as well to kind of kill a wave really quickly because her main skill basically does like 3 times the damage if everything's hexed. So you bring in like Mithrala or something and you hex the crap out of everyone or Cleo, and then have her come in and whack them all in the face and they die in like 2 seconds. So yeah, interesting concept, just kind of falling off from me. I don't use her as much as I would have assumed, but she did her job and she got us through some fights that I didn't think I could get through. So yeah, definitely worth building. Drex, I mean, we don't really even need to talk about him. He's amazing for pretty much most content that requires any kind of HP burn. He can stay alive, he can provoke, he can not die. I love it. Lifesteal all the way from me. And yeah, he can burn the crap out of Spider. He's on my main teams, and he's great for a lot of different fights in Doom Tower. So yeah, definitely build him. Raisin Scarhide. Once again, he's a turn meter dropper. He does some reasonable stuff. He can remove buffs from enemies. So if you have an unkillable, he's good for that on his A1, which is actually nice. He gets 3 chances to do it. So yeah, really good for faction wars. Really good for a bunch of different stuff. You could use him on Fire Knight if you really wanted to. I have other teams that just work better. So I don't really use him for it because he's got a long cooldown, I think, on that skill, if I remember correctly. Let me just see if it's like a 6-turn cooldown to decrease turn meter. So if his turn meter drop was a little bit more often, I feel like he'd be much better. But because of that 6-turn cooldown on that crap, I mean, your Carl can do this skill right here pretty much every other turn if he gets a speed up because he steals turn meter here, which gets him another turn, which puts this down to 2 turns, which means he only has to attack one more time before he can remove turn meter again. So why the hell would I use this crappy lizard? Exactly. So that's why he doesn't get played ever. I beat faction wars with him, and then I basically don't use him for anything unless I have to because I'm forced. Syl of the Drakes. We use her all the time. She got us through all of our 20s. Yeah, really good stuff. I liked it. She got us through all the 20 dungeons, basically. That's where she kind of started to work herself into things. And then she's just on every team now. She's kind of like Apothecary, but for legendaries. She's just good everywhere. She's like butter. I don't know how to say that. I don't know what that means. She spreads on bagels easy. I don't know. Either way, she's smooth like butter. We'll just say that. All right, we've got Lich. Lich, cool hero. I mean, he does some turn meter drop. He does a bunch of different other things. We haven't beaten Undead Hordes yet. We're on the final stage. We're at 21, and I feel like he's going to be the reason we kind of get through it because he can remove turn meter and do a bunch of stuff over the boss. Who stop the boss from doing things that we don't want her to do. So hopefully he'll be on that team. But so far that's really it. I just use him for faction wars and nothing else. I mean, we actually tried him out in Fire Knight. He does work for turn meter drop if you want a no hit run, but the problem is he doesn't really have a lot of multi attacks, so it kind of falls off on later areas. Scion, we do not use him. We have yet to rebuild him since we got him. He's still in defense gear, I think. Yeah, he's still in defense. We're going to rebuild him as full attack and see if we can make him worth our while. But we did not use him for anything. Like, there's nothing in the game that I use Scion for other than maybe an area where in the city where you're only allowed to use demon spawn, and I just don't have anyone else. So, and even that, I have plenty of demon spawn, so it doesn't really matter. Yeah, I actually can't remember the last time I even pulled him out to use him, other than to show him on this video. Torture Helm. Honestly, he's a one trick pony. He's good for the orc faction wars because he stays alive. Actually, he's a two trick pony, and he's good for the secret room for orcs because I can beat that room with just him and Bloodfeather, and that's it. So really good hero for that kind of stuff. He's great if you need a tank that doesn't die. He can revive himself and constantly revive himself as long as you can keep him alive for a few rounds to reset his cooldown. Yeah, he just doesn't die ever. Kind of cool hero. High Katoon, another one of those heroes that basically just kind of pops up all the time. She has a speed lead. She's good for, Barbarian Crypt. She's good for keeping your team going faster. If you want to put her and Apothecary on the same team, you can basically double speed your whole team. So yeah, I don't have a problem with her. Really cool hero, and everyone gets her, so even better. Taya, another one of those heroes that people told me were bad, but is not. She's actually really good. I love her. I mean, she's got reasonable reviews, but look at this, all this crap, bad reviews on a lot of stuff, but she's actually really good. She's essentially a medium version of Kale. She has a decreased accuracy and she can explode her poisons, just like Dark Kale. But I mean, she is Dark Kale for Shadowkin, so she's good for faction wars. She's good for a lot of different things. We used her on our final teams for Iron Twins, so she is on that team that won, and we were able to beat stage 15 on all of the crypts, and she's on most of those teams because she's void, and it doesn't really matter. So yeah, I love her. She's an awesome hero. And combined with Dark Kale, it's just an explosion party where we'll jump around the list a little with these two since they're basically the same hero. And yeah, I use them all for the same stuff. He has decreased attack, so that actually kind of puts him as a one-up. You can put him into boss fights, Spider. You can put him into, what is that? The Hydra, if you want to decrease attack. Like, there's all kinds of stuff, and he can explode his own poisons and HP burns. So yeah, definitely a good hero. Both of these two are the same hero, so if you have one, you basically have the other one. There's a couple of small differences between them. Mainly he has an AoE, and he also has a skill that his poisons drop without actually attacking. Taya always attacks when she puts up her poisons. So there. If you need something for, like, what's that? The Dust Devil, you can use Kale. Like, they're going to have little spots where one's better than the other, is basically what I'm saying. Bloodfeather, amazing hero from the fusions. Yeah, she's awesome hero. You can get her from building out, what's his name? Raisin. If you're like me, you'll build her out twice because you have to fuse Raisin and you want to keep the hero. And that took me almost a year and a half to 2 years to do that. So that was a lot of time. But we got her, and she's awesome. I use her in the arena every single day. Turn meter drop is insanely good, and decreased defense, she hits like a truck. Love her for arena and sniping stupid Death Knights. Arrhenius, we used her for... I don't think we used her. Is she the one that we used? Let's see. Poison. No, we don't use her for anything. Arrhenius is essentially irrelevant. That's what I use her for. We already beat Demon Spawn, so yeah, we're probably never gonna do anything with her, and she's probably gonna just sit here with her max skills and her max everything that we're never going to use her for anything. So yeah, she's just there. She's another one of those I don't really care heroes. Lock Wayne, awesome hero, can remove buffs. He's really strong, hits pretty hard, has an AoE that's really good. I like him a lot. He's on my Sylvan Watchers for Faction Wars team, and I use him in the city a lot, and I use him in Doom Tower once in a while, and for some bosses as well, and wave clearing, because he can do a lot of really cool stuff with removing buffs. He's really good for any content that requires you to remove a unkillable or something from any enemy that is annoying, because he can do it pretty often and he hits really hard. So yeah, definitely a good hero, and he's got a nice little speed in arena, so if you want to use him for arena, you can. It's pretty good. Gwyneth, she is another one of those heroes. Really good for Doom Tower if you want a speed lead. If you want somebody who can make your team faster, you can put her in the lead. She actually has an AoE on her A1. We used her as as a Faction Wars farmer for a little while, but otherwise she hits really well in Spider. She does really good single target damage, especially with an attack up and defense down. I've seen her hit 200 plus K on her single targets. Really good for arena if you really want someone like that can do that. Just make sure you change her masteries around and make sure she's got Helm Smasher and some things like that. I don't know if we went Helm Smasher on her. We did. So yeah, she's definitely really good for killing things and anything that requires you to AoE fast and hard. That sounded bad. All right, Akoff. Well, he's a spider guy. That's what he is. Spider and Hydra, that's what I use him for, and that's about it. He was in Demon Spawn team. I think we put him in the lead for the HP, so we could stay alive longer, if I remember correctly. So yeah, really good hero. I can't say anything bad or good at this point. He's literally just really good at burning things. That's what he does. And he has a small shield, which is somewhat irrelevant, to be honest, for how we use him. Archmage Helmet. Funny enough, we used him way more in the beginning. He's an awesome hero for stunning, and anytime there's a limitation, yeah, he always comes out for that. He does have a speed lead in arena, so we do mess around with him sometimes when we do arena. But otherwise, I honestly don't use him that much anymore. He kind of fell off for me, and it's not even that he's bad. He's just not as useful when you have other heroes that can do essentially what he does. He does have a crit damage up kind of thing going on, so he can give you more attack power, and his stuns are really good. Like he's very fast and very good at doing those things, but he just unfortunately doesn't fit into teams very often in the later games. In the early game, yeah, when you don't have much better, of course, he's going to do crazy stuff. So, and he's going to help you get through a lot of dungeons with his stuns, but otherwise, he's kind of just chilling now. I'm glad we have him, and I don't hate him. He's an amazing hero. He's just I don't know. He just never fits in a team. Dark Elhan, awesome hero for killing things. I use her most of the time in the arena for early game, and then yeah, she kind of showed herself up in some other dungeons with Torment and anything that has to do with a freeze. She's a counter freezer. So yeah, someone like this could definitely mess with you, Carl, and she does hit really hard on AoEs. So we can use her for spider and the early spiders and all things like that. Grush, really good for clan boss early on. Really good for Hydra, really good for a lot of different stuff. I use him very often in a lot of dungeons just because I might be limited on what I can do, and he can actually do two AoEs, which decrease attack, and he can do a continuous heal, and he has a leech. So yeah, we used him in clan boss for a very long time. Really good hero. Limburger, we haven't finished building her. We literally just got her this week, but yeah, she's a new 60, and she's reasonably good. She has a lot of poisons in her kit. I so far don't hate her. She's going to be really big help in Orc faction crypt, and yeah, we're going to probably change her up a bit and give her more attack and speed, and try to get her to be a little bit more of a support hero than a poison hero. So far, the poison situation doesn't seem to be working too well for her. So we're going to see what happens, even though that's her main thing. Well, hopefully she gets better. We'll see. The attack up and defense up though was really good. Broadmaw, another hero that we just got us through that got us through lizard factions, and it's because he can revive. That's it. Like we didn't. It didn't matter if anyone died. We just kept reviving. That's it, and that's how we won. So yeah, Broadmaw is the reason we won faction wars, even to this day. He's the reason we're gonna beat it again if we go through and do stage 25 again, which we never do. But if you want to, yeah, it doesn't matter if you guys die as long as you can survive a little bit of time so that he can revive two people at once and you're not losing three or four at once. Yeah, he's going to get you through any fight because he can just revive you and give you block damage, and then boom, you are good. And everyone will get him right in the beginning if you just focus on it. All right, the next one, Lady Arish. Honestly, she was cool in the beginning, and we used her. We probably will use her in Knights Revan. I think we did. We might have used her in Knights Revan. I honestly don't remember if we used her, but she is another one of those heroes that's she's not bad. She's just useless. Like she doesn't really have a spot for me anywhere, so we don't really use her too much. I don't even have much to say. I honestly can't even remember what she does outside of uh, increasing her turn meter, I think, and making herself faster. That's about it. All right, says another cool hero. He actually has a lot of uses, but I'm so used to using other heroes that I kind of forgot about him a little bit. We did get him recently, but he is a cool hero, and he does have a lot of turn meter effects that are pretty interesting. He can hit pretty hard, and yeah, he can put himself in a veil, and he'll also give himself. He also removes turns a lot, so he's going to be a really big help in Ogren Tribe faction wars because that turn meter drop every single turn is just insanely good because it just randomly will pick whoever has the most turn meter and just pull it from them. So yeah, I like it. He's good. He's definitely going to be a help in Ogren Tribe, so I can't wait to use him there. Taintix Hayflower. I actually never rebuilt her. We took all her gear off for another team, and I decided that I wanted to rebuild her, but I just haven't done it yet. So we did use her to beat Demon Spawn. We took all of the gear from Miss Spirit Host here. We literally took all this gear off of her and put it onto her in order to beat the Demon Spawn crypt, and it worked. But now we want to rebuild her so that we don't have to keep doing that when we want to actually beat it. So I am going to rebuild her before we show the Demon Spawn crypt. All right, we've got Ryan on the Conjurer. And by the way, that's literally the only thing Tantix was good for. And it wasn't even because she's good for it. It was because it was my only option. Ryan the Conjurer. Amazing hero. Got us through some Dark Elf stuff. Can remove debuffs. Remove buffs from enemies. Guy has a revive, a weaken, a block buff, all kinds of stuff. So yeah, really good hero. It might take you a little while to get him, but yeah, definitely worth building. And great for Hydra, great for all kinds of stuff that requires removing Doom Tower, everything. Yaga, another hero, Skinwalkers that got us through Skinwalkers, Faction Crypt. I mean, he's a poisoner. That's it. He's not amazing. He's not bad. I would put him on the same plane as like Frozen Banshee and Petrify and you know Grave Chill. Like he's essentially those heroes, just not as good. Even though he is epic, he's good enough, is what he is. He's not. He'll get you through a poison fight, and that's about it. Lordly Legionary got us through Bannerlords. He was on the team that beat Bannerlord's Crypt, and he's awesome when you put him with a heal reduction hero. He's not someone I would recommend building early on. He's someone that's more of a fun thing to play around with and mess around with teams. He hits like a truck in arena. So if you want to see 100, plus K damage on a tank, yeah, he definitely can do that. You just gotta give him the attack and the crit damage, and you will start seeing some insane numbers. His multipliers on his main speed down skill are insanely high. So yeah, don't put him to the side because everyone told you he was bad, all right? He's really good for a lot of things here. And I used him in arena and I've smoked people with him. And it's kind of funny to watch it because no one expects him to do anything. And then all of a sudden you see this speed down hit and it just crushes somebody. So yeah, don't think he's bad. If you can get the heal reduction up, it'll give him 4 hits, which is kind of nice. Definitely something that's good. And he has speed down, so that's great for bosses. So don't think he's terrible, but just don't put him to the front of your line. As you see, we didn't ascend him or do anything yet. So he's not useful enough where we need to go too crazy on him. Same thing, Dark Athel. She's not bad, but she's just not amazing. She doesn't really show herself to be very useful in a lot of places. I use her in the city. I use her for some fights here and there, but she basically lost her pizzazz because she doesn't do enough to make it worth using her versus other heroes that we have. But yeah, early game, first year, yeah, you'll probably get a lot of use out of her, and she's great AOE damage dealer. And she's got some cool things in her kit that you will definitely help you out. She's just not as good as she used to be. And we definitely haven't built her again since we got her, so maybe rebuilding her might bring her back into the front of my line, but otherwise not really. Jizzo, awesome hero for Scarab King, really good for counters. You could use him as a provoker in Magma Dragon, but there's plenty of other provokers that you can use that you don't need to use him for that. So I just put him in Destroy HP and we use him for Scarab King, and he's working all the way into hard mode. So far, we've beaten the first 2 versions of Scarab King with him by himself, basically just kicking the crap out of the boss, and he wins every time except for the second round in hard mode Doom Tower. Sometimes he might lose. But other than that, we just have to rebuild him and make him faster every time, and eventually he'll be able to beat the highest ones. Bogwalker, awesome hero. Really good hero. We have him 6-star blessing, as you can see. He was one of the first ones we pulled, but also one of the last ones we pulled as far as a rare, but it was the first blessing we pulled, so that's nice. First 6-star. Really good hero. Amazing. We use him in Lizard Crypt. We use him all the time, like in a lot of spots in the city, in dungeons, in all kinds of places that he is useful because and yeah, I love him. Love him, love him, love him. Great hero. Just another one of those heroes that's really good. We use Bogwalker and her into what is that? What is that place called? The Shogun. We used him. We use them there because they have high blessings and do more damage and take less damage. So yeah, awesome. We are able to beat stage 25 and Shogun with these 2 guys. Yeah, awesome heroes. Same thing with Twin Claw Disciple. Really underrated hero. Like, this guy probably has the worst ratings. This dude hits so goddamn hard. It is crazy. He hits like a trucky with a truck underneath it. And yeah, I've seen him do crazy stuff. I've seen him hit for hundreds of K, like 100 plus, 130, 140K just on his main hits. He definitely can do some crazy stuff if you give him the ability to do so. Defense down, attack up. I always say it. That's the way we kill things. So awesome hero. I definitely love him. He's going to be amazing for Orc Crypt, and so far he is amazing for Orc Crypt. He kills things in one hit, which is why we love him. Steel Boyer. We haven't finished building her yet. We just have to finish her skills. Otherwise, she is done. So everything else is complete on her. We haven't done a champion spotlight on her either. So we will be doing one eventually. But yeah, she hits really hard with this one skill. Attacks all enemies. Damage increases according to enemy max HP. So I've seen her hit for like 300K now so far on like the higher end content with that skill. So yeah, Chimera, all kinds of stuff. She's starting to turn into a beast. She's essentially your what, War Maiden? Not War Maiden. Your Armiger, but in rare form. Really good hero so far that I've seen, and she hits really hard. Um, I honestly can't wait till she's done. Like, it's really going to be exciting. I want to get her crit damage up as high as possible. I want to get like a 200 plus. Hound Spawn. This dude is literally one of my favorite heroes in the game, and we can only talk about him at the same time as we talk about his best friend because it is pertinent to the situation. Uh, Hellfang. These two together have a secret skill that is unlocked, which lets them both do AoEs. And they hit so goddamn hard with this skill. I have wiped out entire teams in arena with these guys. I wouldn't recommend building Hound Spawn unless you have Hellfang because you need them both on the team in order to make them work. Because you need the freeze from Hellfang. Not only do you need freeze, but you need them together because they won't have their secret skill if they're not on the same team anyway. So it doesn't really matter. But Hellfang will freeze everything, and then Houndspawn comes in and hits with his main skill, which is the secret skill, all right, which attacks all enemies and will ignore defense and block damage buffs if the target has a freeze debuff. So basically, you just freeze everybody, and he just squishes them like entire teams in arena just drop. We don't need to talk about Apothecary. Literally the best rare in the game. We use him every single day that I play this game. Always used, always great, always heals, always speeds up. Best hero in the game. All right. So build him if you got him. Sanctum Protector, he's one of our newer heroes. We showed him off a little bit. He's got some good skills. He actually doesn't hit that hard, but he is reasonably good for the faction crypt. We were able to beat a couple more levels in faction wars just to kind of see, just once we built him, which is nice. So I think he's going to be a great addition. He does have some pretty interesting skills, and yeah, he's a defense hero, so which means he stays alive. Spirit Host, awesome hero, stays alive, arena base as well, early game. We've beaten Bommel in the city with her by ourselves. We have used her. We've beat people in the arena by ourselves with her. I've seen her kill 2 or 3 people in the arena after everyone else on the team dies. Like, she's just insane. She stays alive if you got her in bolster. Yeah, and you give her some healing after 50% HP. She just doesn't die. Pretty cool hero. Attack up. Great hero all the way to the end. Anointed, we use him on Fire Knight hard mode. So yeah, we didn't build him for a long time, but now that we have him, he has a freeze on his A1, and it's kind of helpful. He also hits 3 times, and he's got some crit rate up and some other things, but mainly it's his 3-hitter and his freeze that make him amazing. So yeah, definitely build him if you're having trouble in Fire Knight hard mode. You can watch some of my videos. I do have a few spots where you can see him in action before you waste your time building him and not knowing why. Marquis got us through Demon Spawn. Insanely strong hits. Really, really powerful attacks, especially if you have Weaken on an entire wave. She can just crush them, like insane damage, and she's a defensive hero, so she stays alive. You can use her in plenty of different spots. Spider, there's like places in Doom Tower. I would use her all the time. I use her way more than I use some other heroes. So yeah, definitely build her. She's a good one. Bowsmith Flannan. So far we haven't used him too much because we haven't gone into the Sylvan Watchers. We were able to beat a few more levels in the faction crypt once we got him to 60, but we need to build another hero to 60 in order to start 3-starring things because unfortunately level 50 at this point is useless. They just die in one hit. So we got to make sure that we build them out and that they can do damage. But yeah, we got through another couple of fights just because of him. Speed downs. He's got all kinds of cool things. He's got combo attacks and stuns. So yeah, really good hero. Meet Carver Tolog, awesome hero as well. Really good. I would put him on the same level as Apothecary if he had more uses. The only reason he's more useful now is because he has revives and he has heals. So I use him in some more difficult content in conjunction with Apothecary usually, because these two together can kind of keep an entire team alive and moving. And he's got a 2-hitter on his A1. Yeah, he's a solid dude. I would definitely build him early on if you're having trouble in areas where you're dying too much and you need a reviver and you pull him. Just, yeah, level him up and he's going to be your savior for a lot of different fights. Spy Master is really good in. You could use her. You can use Spy Master in what is that? Hydra, in Bannerlord's Crypt. I think we used. Where else did we use her? I can't think of anywhere else specifically that I use her. She has block buffs. So that was good for like the holiday video. I mean, not the holiday dungeon or whatever that was, the Thor thing. You could use her for that. But yeah, we only did those fights up to I think floor 20, I think, and then we stopped caring. And I actually forgot that dungeon actually existed. I'll be honest. Lumberer, great for Ogre and Tribe. We just got him to 60. We are working on his masteries as of right now. So he's one of the 3 heroes, as you just saw, Lumberger, Steel Boyer, and Lumberer, the 3 heroes that are not done. So those are the 3 that we are currently working on as of right now. One of them needs skills, and then the other 2, he needs masteries, and Lumberger just needs to have her gear maxed and then finish out masteries. So we'll be done with them pretty quickly. Otherwise, the only one that needs skills right now is Steel Boyer. The other 2 are totally maxed. So they'll be maxed and have champion spotlights very soon. You'll probably see very quickly because we're like I said, all we gotta do is auto and get some masteries and we'll be good. So yeah, definitely a good hero. Does crazy damage. He's actually got some good skills on him that do some interesting stuff. He's got decreased attack, decreased defense. He's got decreased defense buff on another enemy for that, and then also increases crit damage and then hits everyone in the face. So yeah, he's definitely got some big logs to hit people with, but definitely a good early game hero. Even now, we're going to use him. War Maiden, great for the beginning of the game, great for the end of the game, great for every game. She's basically your defense down with boobs. That's it. That's what she does. She's got red hair. She's a cutie, and she's got giant swords. One giant sword and then an axe. So yeah, that's your girl. But she does defense down. She's on the starting 5. Great hero. I would highly recommend building her. I think we've seen her enough. Petrify is literally one of the most underrated heroes I think in this game right now. She is petrifyingly petrifying. Really good hero, does attack downs, poison sensitivities, all kinds of crap, and she hits multiple times. Really good for Fire Knight early game if you want to poison the crap out of them instead of doing turn meter or heal reduction. And really good for things like Hydra and for Spider and for all kinds of stuff. I could imagine her being good for almost any content that requires a poison. All right, we've got the Alchemage of Veer. He's a really good hero. Does attack down. He's really good for the dwarf faction crypt. He heals, turn meter increase, and he has a poison. That's really it. He's just a reasonable hero. Put him in some either speed or give him a shield set, and you got yourself a great healer. Grave Chill and Frozen Banshee we have to show at the same time. They're basically the same hero. They work in conjunction with each other. They do the defense downs you can use them for early game clan boss. You can use them to poison the crap out of Fire Knight in the early game. You can use them for so much stuff that requires poisons. Even Iron Twins, you can use them in the beginning for that, but they do fall off eventually. So figure you got about a year or so of them where you're going to love them, and then they're going to stop being useful, and you're probably not going to use them as much as you usually do. I use them every week basically for quests to poison or put debuffs on enemies in the dungeons. So I use them a lot, but I don't use them anywhere else really. Even though Frozen Banshee can be very useful everywhere if you don't have anything better. We've got Grumbler, awesome hero. Keeps your team alive. We use him in dwarves. He just doesn't put out much damage. He's just there to protect and serve. That's it. That's all he does, and that's what he's good at. Otherwise, I don't really have a place for him. Dark Elves. Yes, we know this guy, Kale. Do we need to talk about him? He's good everywhere. Just use him, build him. He's the only starter champion that probably matters. Muckstalker, we don't really use him that much except for the Lizardman Crypt. That his sleep is literally the only thing that makes him good. He does have a block buffs thing, but that's not really that great unless you have somebody who can do unkillables. But otherwise, you're going to sleep the crap out of somebody before they can do that, and that's all that matters. Good for Dust Devil. That's about it. But that's really it. You could use him in the arena if you really want to, but I can't think of any other place that I would. Greybeard, really good farmable hero in the beginning of the game. We actually use him for Magma Dragon. He can do provokes. I have him in a freeze set so that he can freeze enemies that attack him, and he can freeze people when he attacks them. Yeah, really good crowd control kind of hero, and good for Doom Tower and some other spots where you might need a provoker and or freezer. Valerie is literally the best hero in the game for me. It's like I can't say enough good things about her. She's on my clan boss team as of right this second and gets us through so we can beat Nightmare with auto now. We don't have to do anything else. And she was the reason that happened. So yeah, amazing hero, even though you're not going to understand why she's awesome until you build her and put her in a bolster set and get her to the point where she's at least reasonably fast, around 200 speed, as you can see. And yeah, you're going to see a hero that can blast through content and keep your team alive and just constantly keep your buffs going. Like she is a buff battery. That's what she is. That's essentially what she does, and she can heal and shield. You've got Executioner, which I don't really use, honestly. I'll be honest. I might have used him in Knights Revenant here and there for the faction wars. I don't use him for anything else. He's basically just here because we built him. Same thing with Judge. We used him for the Dark Elf faction crypt, but he's a random generator of debuffs, and otherwise we don't use him for anything else because usually you're going to need a specific debuff, and you can't hope for the best with him. So yeah, we don't honestly ever use him. Shadowbow Turac, we have really good hero, great for Sylvan Watchers, does crazy damage. He can shield and heal. I think it's shield. He can heal I know he heals, right? He's got the decreased attack. He's got an increased speed buff on everybody, and he does a veil on everybody and shields buff on all allies. Yeah, so he does shield and buff on everybody. So he's actually a really good hero for keeping everyone alive and for killing things because he's a defense hero. So he can stay alive and crush things. So I like him. Marauder, another hero, does attack down, does some pretty cool stuff. He's got a provoke. I think he might have a stun on his A1 if I'm correct. Yeah, he has a stun. So he's pretty cool. We can use him in the arena if you want, if in early game, if you're having troubles. Most people are going to have legendaries at this point, so it's probably useless. But yeah, great for Shadowkin Faction Wars. I'm excited to see what he can do in there. And he was able to help us beat a couple more stages and get more stars. Sacred Order, man, Headsman. This dude is better than people say. He can fear, he can poison, he hits everybody for heal reduction. Works really well in the arena with uh, Lord Legionary because he can do the 100% heal reduction, and then Lord Legionary can come in and hit 4 times. So don't think he's bad just because he looks like he might be bad. He's not. Soulbon, best hero of the year in the first year of this game. She can AoE. She's a good campaign farmer if you need it. She can basically kill Death Knight in one hit if you build her up to max and give her some crit damage. And yeah, amazing hero. Put her in lifesteal. She doesn't die. You can use her for Spider. You can use her for Fire Knight. No turns, all that kind of stuff. Really great hero. Mother Superior, good enough for Sacred Order to keep people alive and heal. She's got a speed lead, which makes her reasonable. Her main heal is probably the best heal in the game that I've seen. He'll heal almost any hero up to max HP and pop a shield on them for going over the healing. So yeah, really good, solid, full heal. Other than that, she's not that great. So if you need a healer, she's the one, and she can speed up your team. So those are all good things. Master Butcher, really good hero for essentially just going through and killing Magma Dragon and for killing Bommel. Like that's his main spots. He doesn't really do anything else, but he's really good at it. That's it. That's all he does. Metal Shaper could be used for Scarab King. I don't use him for that. I have other heroes that can do it just fine. He is good for Lizard Crypt if you need it. He does shields. He does a bunch of other stuff, but otherwise, for me, he wasn't that impressive because we got him too late. If we had gotten him earlier, I think he would have been a much more useful hero. Shadowkin hero, Mr. Iterant, awesome hero, does crazy damage. He has an AoE speed down, which is awesome. Great for waves, great for bosses that need to be slowed down, and he hits really hard. So I would build him. I did build him, so he's awesome. And then Odachi, his best friend, another great hero. Does provokes. We used him early game Magma Dragon. I wouldn't recommend it for later because his provoke is pretty unreasonably not useful because it's very low percentage. But he does hit pretty hard. He's a defense hero. He stays alive. He can put block debuffs up, and yeah, he hits really good. And he's got is it a turn meter drop or what is it? This one. He puts a shield buff on him on this champion for 2 turns, equal to his max HP. But he does attack all enemies, so that is good. It does hit pretty hard, and he's literally the best looking hero in the game as far as rares go. All right, we've got Questor. This dude hits like a truck, like really hard. He is a strong single target damage dealer if you need someone to do that. We did use him, I think, in a couple different spots where it was pretty funny to watch how much damage he put up. And yeah, we used him in Shogun, a couple different places, but I've seen him hit a lot, like more than a little, less than a lot. Lemlar, just a reasonable Sacred Order hero. He has attack down. He doesn't do much damage, but he can stay alive because he's an HP hero. So just expect him to be a hero that's there as your placeholder for the rest of your team to just kind of not die. That's it. That's all he's there for. He just decreases attack. I believe he has a stun or a decreased defense. Yeah, you go, decreased defense on his A1, and he just doesn't die. That's it. He stays alive for a very long time. We like him. All right, we've got Acolyte. This dude is really good for Nice Revenant. We used him in Nice Revenant 21, I believe, because he has a turn meter drop for 100%, which is very useful, and he can remove debuffs from your whole team. Otherwise, that's what he's good for. He's good for that only. So if you got somebody else who can do it, don't worry about him. Undead Hordes. Grinner's probably going to be the reason we get through the Undead Horde faction crypt because he is the hero that has Revive. Once again, Revive is very powerful in faction wars if you have crappy heroes because then you don't have to care whether or not they're good. You just got to make sure they can stay alive and then he can revive them and you'll get through the fight. Eris, another hero I don't use. That's underutilized by this account. We don't really have a team that can work with her and make her as useful as you might think she would be. Really good for unkillable teams and things of that nature with her counterattacks. So if you have that in your wheelhouse, then yeah, go ahead and build her. Otherwise, for this specific run and account, she is not good at all. Pathfinder Cat, another hero for Sylvan Watchers. Really good hero, does really good damage, and that's about it. That's the only thing I can think of that I would use her for. Same thing with Candle Guard. She is essentially just another hero that can do damage and is good for killing enemies in the faction wars. The only slight difference with her, though, is that she has the ability to remove buffs, which is really good. She has an AoE weaken, which is also really good, and she can increase her attack and crit rate buff before attacking on one of her hits. So she's a little bit more useful than heroes like Pathfinder. So we have more of a reason to consider using her in a fight than we do have for Pathfinder. Myrmidon got us through Bannerlord stage 21. Awesome hero. Protect. He's basically the mini Visix. He can do ally protect. He's a defense hero and he has an attack down, I believe. Really good hero, stays alive, and he has saved my ass numerous times. Good for Hydra, all that. Coffin Smashers, good for clan boss early game. Pretty good hero as far as, you can use him as an HP burn if you need it for the spider because you got no one better. I had to put an accuracy chest on him that's not here anymore, as you can see, just to get him to be accurate enough to hit the spider in the beginning of the game. So yeah, he works. He's not your best option, but he works. But really good for clan boss because he has attack down and he hits 3 times. And if you put him in a relentless set like we have, he just constantly keeps hitting and getting his procs off on his giant slayer. Really good hero. Diabolist, another hero, starting 5 hero, really good for the beginning of the game, speed up, turn meter drop. She's got sleep. You can put her in a stun set like you see now, so she can stun things with her AoEs. Yeah, otherwise, that's what she's good for. That's it. That's what she's good for. She's good for all content in the early game. She does fall off a little bit later on in the game, but she's definitely worth it for the first year and easy to build, easy to invest in because you don't have to, you just farm stage 12 like you always do anyway, and you're just going to get her. So she's just easy to get and easy to acquire. Athel, I've said this numerous times. Athel is garbage. I don't really like her that much. I use her in faction wars, and that's about it. There's a few spots where she's good. You will use her. Let's put it that way. You're gonna definitely pull her out. I actually use her more than some of my epics and things. I just don't like her. So that's it. That's just a personal opinion. But she's good enough. She's not the best. She's the worst of the 4 starters, but she'll do her job and she'll do it at least reasonably well. And that's about as the most good things you'll ever get me to say. Elhan and Gilek are essentially the same hero. I mean, he's got a little bit more functionality with his defense down and stuff, and he hits harder on his first hit. But basically, him and Elhan are just damage monks. That's it. They're just damage people, and they come in, they damage the crap out of stuff, and they kill everything in the room. That's it. That's what they're there for. They don't do anything else. That's it. I wouldn't use them for anything else. I would, if you're using Golek for a defense down, you probably just don't have a good defense down hero. That's basically it. But when he does have it and it's your only option, it's really nice. All right, you've got Longsword Turac. He is really good for Knights Revenant. He's got a block damage, a provoke. He's got some pretty cool skills. I think he's a leech. Yeah, really good hero. Highly recommend building him for Knights Revenant if you don't have someone else to keep your team alive. But yeah, that provoke saved my ass numerous times in there. Riskarm, another hero that got us through Bannerlords stage 21. Really good hero. Very underutilized. Does crazy amounts of damage with his hits, especially with Myrmidon together. It's just a crazy Bannerlord nightmare team that I put together because they have so many buffs. Like, they just constantly buff their team, and Riskarm is no exception with that. He does have a shield buff. He has a counter attack. He's got all kinds of fun stuff, and he can stun on his A1. But yeah, really good hero. Highly recommend building him. Abyssal's fun. We put him in a Slayer set, and we did use him for some of the stuff in Demon Spawn. I don't believe we used him for stage 21. I don't remember. Yeah, maybe we did. I don't remember. I have to go look at the video. I'd have to watch it again. I don't remember if we used him. We built him specifically for it, and he did get us through a few fights, which is nice because his heal is reasonable, and he can get his turn meter back fast with the Slayer set. So, yeah, interesting hero. Definitely could be a campaign farmer if you really wanted to push the limits of his power and go straight damage and lifesteal. Yeah, you could do that if you wanted to. I mean, why would you do that, right? Madman. Once again, another kind of just random attack hero that I just never really used that much. I know he was good in Hydra, and we have used him in Dwarf Faction Crypt. That's about it, and he's still going to be used there. But other than that, no, I don't really use him that much. Crimson Slayer, another hero that I use all the time back in the day. I don't use her as much as I used to, but she's still really good in the city and in other areas. Nice Reverend Crypt. She's got a crazy damage AoE. She has a 3-hitter on her A1, great for Fire Knight, which can do sleep as well. So you could use her in the Dust Devil as well. But yeah, this girl got me through almost 90% of my content in the beginning of the game with Soulbond. Boyer. So those two are literally prime time #1 heroes to build in the first year after you build your starting five. Then we've got Grappler. He got us through Skinwalker, really good hero. He's got shields, he's got poisons. There's not much to say about him. I don't really use him anywhere else. Same thing with Totem. She's an early game kind of war maiden, but for orcs. So you're only going to really use her in orc factions, and she does have a removal of buffs. So really good for removing what is it, unkillables and things like that, shields, all that crap from some bosses in the early game. But eventually she will fall off, and you probably will not use her except for faction crypts. Warpriest is basically Valerie, but not good. So that's it. And you can literally go watch the videos that I put out for her. She has a champion spotlight. She's just Valerie, but not as good. So you're better off just putting her in your vault and just go farm stage 1 the first day and get yourself a Valerie. That's all I could say. She's good when you need a Sacred Order hero. That's it. That's when she's good. Hellfang, we already went over. Conqueror is the most amazing hero in the first week or two of the game. That's it. That's where he's really good. He has a blocked revive. He has insane attack power to kill Death Knights. Really strong hero. The only problem is he dies stupid easily. So you have to be able to keep him alive. But if you don't care about that, just make him real fast and let him go first, and he will just wreck everything. So that's it. That's what you basically are going to use him for. Look at this defense. It's garbage. Look at that. It's like 1500 defense, right? Yeah, terrible. But he hits insanely hard, so that's good. Hyria is really good for a lot of different fights. She got us through faction wars and high elves, and she is great for for clan boss. She's good for anything that requires a poison, so I've used her in plenty of different fights. Fire Knight, she can be good there because she can make everyone attack. She has an ally attack, 3 people. So there you go. Awesome hero for anything poison related and for clan boss early game. Eventually you'll find better heroes, but that's just where she is. Templar, I never use. I do not ever use him. He's good for Bommel. We were going to build him to try to get through Bommel in hard mode Doom Tower. I just never got around to it. So I need to eventually do that. But other than that, I can't think of any place other than the Sacred Order faction crypt that I would specifically use him for anything. So if you want to build him to get through Bommel easy, I would just use him for that. That's basically what he's for. Zephyr Sniper, really good uncommon hero for the early game. Gets you through Spider. She's a great tank. She doesn't die if you put her in lifesteal, and she can constantly get more and more attacks if you give her a ton of speed. Highest defense on the account, I think. 4,700 defense, because we really were pumping stuff into her and rebuilding her over and over again for Spider in the early game. So yeah, there you go. Great hero. Outrider, once again, she has Destroy HP. Really good attack power, really strong for the early game. He can wipe out things in lifesteal, so I would probably just switch him out into lifesteal so that he can keep himself alive, and you'll never have a problem early game with wiping out waves. Super strong hero for an uncommon, like insanely strong. I would love to build him up to like 60k power and just get his crit damage up insane. I would love to see what he does. We've got Armiger, literally the best uncommon in the game, possibly, arguably, one of the best heroes in the game, even against legendaries, because he just constantly turn meter drops, and he has an attack that's based on max HP, so you can do damage in the realms of 1,000,000 plus with him if you have him strong enough in a team that can do stuff at late game. Yeah, you're going to see a monster of a hero in Armiger eventually. So yeah, that was it. That's all 100 heroes that I own. It's crazy that we've gotten to this point and that the year's over. I mean, we're in 2025. It's as of you watching this video, and it's been a long ride to get here. But I'm very excited that we have 100 heroes, and I'm also more excited that most of these guys are rares, right? And that we've been getting through it. That's the whole thing. I mean, we only have what? I think we only have 3 dungeons left. I think we said, right? Yeah, everything else is done. Iron Twins is completely done, which actually I should probably put that on auto since the timer's going to run out. So we've got this down. You know, we've got all these done. We've got all this done. Spider's Den on hard mode is done. I mean, we're just plugging away here. See, all done. Ice Golem, we're on stage 8. And Fire Knight, we're on stage 7, I want to say, or 6 or 7 on hard mode. I don't remember. Let me see. Yeah, stage 7. So yeah, I mean, even the worst heroes are great. We beat Phantom Shogun, that's done, and then Sand Devil. So it's Sand Devil, Fire Knight, and Ice Golem. Like that's it for dungeons over here. And then we have finished everything in dungeons. So really, we're just focusing on faction wars. That's going to be our new goal. We're at 879. So we're getting up there, right? We need 20, 65, 66 stars. That's it. That's all we need. 66 stars. Most of these are already at 60. See, we got Undead Horde at 60, Ogre and Tribe are at 58. Orc, we're at 55. Sacred, 55. So we're almost there. What is this? Shadowkin is the only one that we're at 43. These are the two worst ones, and that's because they were the latest additions, and they're the ones that I don't use as much. But yeah, it's been a fun year, and I hope you guys are looking forward to another year of fun and raid. Hopefully, we can continue ignoring all the bull crap that they do and just keep playing and having fun and leveling our heroes and enjoying everything. So once again, all right, make sure you leave a comment, like, share, and subscribe if you are interested. If you have something you want to say or a place that you use a hero, feel free. This is a community. It's not just me babbling, although it is just me babbling. Remember, we do a live stream every single week. And if you're interested, you become a member. Feel free to do so. And it's $1.99 a month. And it will get you access to my videos as soon as I post them. And it will also give you free emojis. And you can watch my videos whenever I post them, which is funsies, right? And you get a free video every week. That's the other one, commercial free. All right, so this is the 100 heroes of my account for 2025. This is Mobile Gamer Nerd. And you guys take care.